guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host Bastion. This is Nintendo news, well really Zelda news. Let's get to that news. First of all, Mr. Aonuma has some interesting things to say about Zelda U. Nothing concrete or mind-blowing, but some very odd things. He said that when he became aware of the fact that at E3 somebody was like, oh, that Link looks very different than the usual Link, and then he said that cryptic remark, well, whoever said that was Link, and then all of the fans were like, oh my gosh, it's not Link, and oh, duh, it looks like a girl, it can't be Link, it's a female, what is this? And then so what he has said now, in a recent interview, is that whole reaction to, oh my gosh, this is not even Link, this is a girl, he was like, oh, wow, the fan reaction to that whole thing was completely unexpected. I mean, of course it is Link, but that does give him pause and gives him some ideas for the development of Zelda U. Now, he didn't explain what the heck that means. He does go on to clarify that no, that doesn't mean he's going to change the main character into a girl, but he doesn't really say anything, so it's just a mystery. If you want to read more about that, there's much more. There's a link for you down below. The next interesting Aonuma quote about Zelda U is about the fact that he says that Zelda's open world for Zelda U, that their open world concept is going to be very different than how other companies do open worlds. What does he mean? He goes on to talk about how the original Legend of Zelda had what was basically an open world, and so that they're trying to harken back to that. But how is that different than other companies' open worlds? What I hope he means, and this is based on absolutely nothing, I hope he means that it won't just be quest-based. That's the reason why I don't really get into those kinds of open-worldy games myself, is because I like a game with a good, solid, single quest, instead of what the trend is these days, where there's 500,000 mini quests that you can complete in any order, and none of them really mean anything, and they might all kind of hint to a main plot, but not really. I just like a Zelda game. This is why I like the Zelda games, because I'm going to a dungeon, I'm beating that boss, I'm going to another dungeon, I'm beating that boss, I'm collecting some kind of artifact, multiple versions of an artifact along the way that, you know, has some kind of effect on the end. I like the kind of linearity. I do not like being forced to go to Dungeon 1, then Dungeon 2, then Dungeon 3. That's why I loved A Link Between Worlds, because even though it was that same single quest kind of deal, you could go to the dungeons in any order. So I hope that's what he means when he's talking about how Zelda U's open world is going to be different than other companies. I hope what he's saying is there will still be a major quest, and you will just be able to complete that single quest in various chunks and however you wish. What I hope he doesn't mean is that it's not really going to be an open world, and that it still will be barricaded in some kind of way, and that when he used the phrase open world, he made a mistake and now he's backpedaling, which is kind of what I'm worried that he's saying, but hopefully not. We'll have to wait and see when we get more information. But anyways, that's it for this episode of Zelda News. See you guys tomorrow for more news. Bye, guys.